Good morning, everybody. The terrain we are getting into would be an unusual one. We might have skirted its borders before, but we have not gone up to the extent we are going to get into right now. I met the Messiah. We had a conversation, and this talk is a relay, an excerpt of what we discussed. I prepared a text of our conversation, a summary. You are going to have it hereafter. I'm actually quoting Akin Oshintokun, a Yoruba writer of high pedigree. Amongst the older generation who were schooled in the 1966 tradition, there is the intimation of a hang-up that if Nigeria is going to get a messianic leader, why should it be an Igbo? Akin Oshintokun, This Day newspaper, 9th July 2022. This well-educated Yoruba was writing about the presidential aspiration of Mr. Peter Obi, an Igbo who is becoming the front runner in Nigeria's upcoming presidential elections, whom millions of Nigerians are certainly seeing as a messianic figure. If non-Igbo Nigerians identify Igbos with their hunger for Messiah, which is another way of saying people are longing deeply for redemption and perfection, it's high time I gave more serious thought to the Messiah, which or who consumes many of my Jewish and Christian friends. This was in my mind throughout the day. I made up my mind to look for the Messiah and talk to him. The following is what I learned. I've always thought that investigation of the Messiah was not important in my work of updating the Igbo strand of Hebrew history. Because I saw the Messiah only through the Jewish and Christian lenses and did not think that the Messiah has a place in Omenana and the Igbo worldview, as both some Jews and all Christians believe the Messiah is going to be a king. He would not fit it into the Igbo worldview because to normal and healthy Igbos, Soso Chukwu Bueze, only God is king. However, as an Igbo, I could feel comfortable and at home with some Jewish understandings that believe in a messianic era, but not an individual who would be a king. But the Christian Messiah, I believe he is for Christians and not Igbos. Moreover, I have engaged in advanced study of the entire Bible, and I believe that at best we could read the presence of this unique Messiah, who is to be different from the anointed priests of Israel, into the text and not out of it. So I decided to leave the Messiah alone and continue my work. By the way, Messiah means a person anointed with oil. The Israelite priests were anointed with oil. How kings came to be and were also anointed can be read up in the annals of the Israelites, starting from the book of 1 Samuel. So with all this in mind, I always drew back from engaging deeply with the Messiah. However, with non-Igbo Nigerians, as I said, ascribing messianic qualities to and discussing messianism, in connection to Igbos, I decided to look, probe, try to understand more about what I will call a hunger for a messianic figure, for a messiah figure. I decided to try to understand why a belief in a messiah figure developed at all, and why this belief took root in the Jewish community, which is a branch of the people of Israel. We have already seen what some sections of the Jewish community think about this figure. Also, we have glimpsed at who the Christian world thinks he is. Thinking carefully, we will see and accept that both communities expressed a hunger, a longing for an era of calm, order, in the case of some Jews and Christians, that will be presided over by a messianic figure, because the world as they knew it was not calm, happy, safe, and secure. There will be no need for a person to be a messiah if the world as we see it is okay. If society functions properly, there will be no hunger in humans for one of them to act as a savior. People only begin to long for redemption and salvation if there is disequilibrium, i.e., if society has failed and life in society has become nasty, brutish, and short, as Thomas Hobbes explained. Nigerians would not have been reaching for Peter Obi if Nigeria had succeeded. I have studied functional societies like the US, Israel, most European countries, Japan, South Korea, and I can tell you that the citizens are not looking for saviors and messiahs in their leaders. They are looking for leaders who will make sure the schools, hospitals, etc. function properly. So why did this hunger for redemption, this consciousness bubble to the surface most poignantly in Judaism? I think this hunger is in all human souls, maybe in all souls, but while in most it lies dormant and never or not clearly expressed because they have not envisioned it, in some it bubbles up because, in my opinion, they have seen a perfect world before, so they can believe it is possible to exist. What was the Garden of Eden? A perfect world. I'm familiar with many other creation myths. None beside this showed us a snapshot of an ideal, pristine, sublime, and near perfect world. Most showed a world that started and remains in chaos. But in Israel, because a vision of perfection was seen, a hunger for a return to perfection was expressed. Look at Isaiah 2 for confirmation. The lion and sheep will lie down together, and there will be no bloodshed. In this world, the strong will not attack the weak. Evils like enslavement, slavery, prostitution, subordination of women, ill treatment of children, colonialism, racism will be liquidated. It is this hunger for a return to this world we see in the book of Genesis that became an article of faith in traditional Judaism. How it is expressed is another matter we will not get into now, but I must mention that Jews expressed the hunger because they knew the world could exist again, because they knew that it has existed before. My conversation with the Messiah will continue, but in the meantime, think about everything I have said. Don't dismiss anything out of hand. Don't say that your religious leader is or was not the person that gave you this information. So pay serious attention to it, think about it, and wait for updates. And I will end by appealing that you should hit the subscribe button to help us build up this channel where you get the conventional, non-conventional, and truths you learn nowhere else. We have many books about Igbos, Israelites, Jews, African Americans, and Caribbeans you will find, which you will find at Amazon. Buy our books, patronize us, listen to our channel. You will be enriched, and we welcome contributions from you too. Thank you, and have a beautiful day. Thank you once again.